Hello, thank you for joining us. This is the Miro Consulting webinar on Java licensing, subscriptions, and audits. We're going to give everyone just a minute to give them a chance to log in. We'll begin the presentation momentarily. Hello again, thank you for joining us. We're going to begin the presentation in about a minute. We're just going to give everyone a chance to log in, update their Zoom, get their headphones settled, all that good stuff. All right, welcome. This is Miro Consulting's webinar on Java licensing, subscriptions, and audits. We hope that at the end of this webinar, you'll know the rules, know how to identify a paid versus a free version, and avoid failing an audit. My name is Sean Donahue. I am a Java licensing expert here at Miro Consulting, but this presentation was prepared by someone who's even a higher level expert than me, Tim Hegedus, one of our senior analysts. So we make sure we check every time we do these presentations. We always look up to see if anything's changed. So everything should be all up to date. And I want to let you know, if you're like me, you're one of those people who will take screenshots during a webinar and try to take notes and see big tables of information, try to capture it. Don't worry about that. You can relax. I'm going to send you a Java licensing guide after this webinar. It will contain all of the data. So it's going to contain all the tables, all the ID numbers, everything you need to know to get started on determining what you're going to do with your job. So again, I'm going to send you a guide. You don't have to screenshot and try to record everything. We'll take care of that for you. All right, real quick, just so you know who we are, who you're getting this information from, because again, you should always make sure you're getting information from a qualified authority, not just some bozo on the internet. So who we are at Miro, we are a leading global provider of software asset management and subscription management services for Oracle, Microsoft, IBM, Amazon Web Services, and Salesforce. We specialize in license management, audit advisory, negotiation tactics, support management, cloud services. Basically, we help you stay in compliance and get the best ROI on your software investments. And in case you ever get audited, we come help you with that audit situation. Best thing about working with us is, unlike anyone else in our industry, we have a performance guarantee. And that's quite simply the cost of the amount of your savings will be more than our fees. So there's really no risk in working with us at all, whether it be on Java, on Salesforce, on anything you see here. And if you're wondering where we get our information, we get it directly when it comes to Java. We get it directly from Oracle. We get it directly from the other Java alternative vendors. We go to the source. So you can be assured that the information we're about to give you is the correct information. If you go to anybody else's Java webinar, really any webinar for that really, and they don't have the amount of data that you're going to see here, they don't have all the information. So let's just get started. So what are we going to talk about today? So this is going to be essentially an overview of the changes with Java having become a subscription-based product, really started in 2019. We're giving you all the changes that are all the way up to 2023 and anything that has happened this year so far. We're going to talk about the four fee releases and the free releases, paid and free, bad way to say that, including the third-party ones. We're going to talk about the different agreements those Java versions fall under. We're going to talk about a Java sales inquiry, totally not an audit, definitely not an audit, just a sales inquiry. And we're going to talk about some gotchas, and that's what I want you to stick around for. There are some really shocking gotchas here that you may not be aware of, and they may totally mess up your plans on what you're going to do about your Java situations. All right, so what's going on right now? So right now, Oracle is continuing to audit its clients and its non-clients for Java. And that means even if you don't have any other Oracle software besides Java, you are an audit target, potentially. We're estimated so far that Oracle's gone through about 20% of its clients in terms of clients who have other Oracle products that they purchase besides Java. which is a fair amount, but there's still plenty of people out there who haven't been hit yet. And we have helped dozens of organizations since the licensing models changed for Java and it required a subscription. And right here is where I like to call out some of the best information we can give you is how likely is that Oracle audit target likely to fall on you based on your location, based on your industry, based on your situation. So originally when it all started, we saw Oracle was mostly looking at very large, very deep-pocketed groups, so organizations. So that would be things like government, that would be things like education, that would be things like financial firms, things like that. People who have deep pockets who they know they can afford it. So that's kind of where Oracle started. It has since sort of moved on. The most current targets we're seeing are two kinds in particular. We've noticed a pattern, and that is one, do you have anything to do with the healthcare industry? Do you make healthcare devices? Do you do insurance? Are you a network provider? Are you a hospital? Anything like that. If you touch the healthcare industry or consider yourself healthcare industry, you are a current target. The other one we're seeing is Oracle's looking at organizations where it's like a one major sort of umbrella group that has many individual brands underneath of it. And the idea behind that is an organization that's made up of a lot of loose little entities, loose brands, separate divisions, separate groups, is much more likely in Oracle's view to not quite know where all of its Java is it all the right place? Just, organizations that may not be as organized and as monolithic, sort of, right? Like lots of little groups. Think if you're one organization like that, you're currently in the crosshairs. So with that, I would like to launch our first poll, if I could find it here. One moment, my Zoom is not playing along. All right. Here we go. Sorry for this. So here, as I always say, if you answer my polls with if you give me an answer, I will send you the results afterward, so you can see what all of your peers are doing here. So right now, I just like to start out my presentation before I give you all the information. What is your plan for Java? A lot of organizations have a plan. When I started doing these webinars, probably about a year and a half ago, almost everyone responded that they had no current plan. So I'll give everyone some time here. If you're going to answer, though, answer quickly. I don't like to leave my polls up for very long. I like to get on with the show. So if you're going to give me an answer, please give it to me in the next 5 seconds or so. And I see, replace Java with non-Oracle Java. That is so far winning the results. I can tell you we're going to cover that. I'm going to give you some advice on who I think might be who you should look at for that if you're looking at non-Oracle Java. And I see some of you are doing some other things here. A couple of people don't have a plan. That's not uncommon. But I have to say, this is a good audience. This is the smallest number of I don't have a plan I have ever seen. So thank you very much for that. Let's keep going. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's talk about what's different the most recently. So in 2023, Oracle announced that Java would be priced per employee. Now, this may come as a surprise to you because most of these are licensed by like named user plus, something like that. The processors, the amount of places you're actually using it, the amount of people who are actually using it. That's how all of us are used to dealing with software licensing. Well, for Java, it doesn't work like that anymore. Oracle's decided everyone at your organization needs a license for Java. And when I say everyone, I mean more than everyone. Even if they don't use a computer, even if they don't use Java or a computer. If you have an employee whose job is to rake leaves outside of the office, they need a Java license as far as Oracle's concerned. And the language Oracle specifically uses is your full-time, your part-time, your temporary, your temporary employees, agents, contractors, outsourcers, consultants, your dog. Now, okay, your dog doesn't need a license. If your dog could log in, your dog would need a license. I mean, he's already got a name. He's halfway to named user plus. So that's what I want you to remember. I kind of like to make a joke about it. I want you to remember that because that's how inclusive your per employee metric is. It means everyone. So here's the price breaks per month. So as I said before, it used to be by per processor, and NUP stands for named user plus. Before that, it was called a perpetual Java SE license. But on your right here, I put up a table of how much can you expect to pay. So you can see here, the more Java licenses / employees you have, You get some decent price breaks all the way down to the 50,000 employee marks, where you can see at that point, they just say call them for details. But this is about how much it will cost you. Again, I'm going to send this to you you don't have to do the math now. I'm going to send this to you right after the event. All right, so one of the top questions I get in every one of these presentations is, what happens if I already bought Java? What if I already bought my Java subscription before the per employee metric, when it was still per processor, per user? What happens if I already bought it? Well, technically, you do not need to purchase additional licensing. You should, as we've been told by Oracle, be able to renew your Java licensing using the old metric. And the exact language is, existing licensees do not need to do anything related to this new product offer. If your business is growing and you desire to spend more money, you go ahead. Server cloud licensing, please contact sales for assistance. Now, just because it's Oracle's official policy that you can renew under the old metrics does not mean your Oracle rep knows this. So we have encountered Oracle reps who just didn't get the memo yet, or they got it and didn't read it. We've heard reports, some Oracle reps are saying you can't renew the old license. You have to get new per employee. That is wrong. But don't, I want to make sure you understand, that's not Oracle trying to trick you or anything. That's just an Oracle rep who he didn't get the memo. He doesn't know that he doesn't know this piece of information. So if you hear this from your Oracle rep, you can tell them that. You can call us and we will help you get through it. But it is not, the Oracle rep may tell you that by mistake. All right, how does Oracle even know you're using Java? Well, guess what? Java phones home. And that's nothing nefarious. So what happens is Java calls up its Java mothership server and says, hey, am I up to date? And if it's not, it gets sent an update. It updates itself. It makes itself secure and everything's great. Well, when it does that, it logs the Oracle server that gets that call from that Java installation, records the IP address of the computer that requested it. And they can use that to find out who owns that computer, where it is, etc. So that's how Oracle will know if you are using Java. That's turned on by default. We can tell you how to turn that off if you'd like. Just contact us after the event. And one of the things to know about that is Java will auto-update itself from a free version to a paid version unless you turn off auto-updates. And we really mean you have to disable them. Don't just tell your employees, hey, don't update it, because you know how some of employees are. They get a screen that says to do something and they want to do something else and they say, yeah, go, install, download, do whatever. We all have those employees. So if you don't turn it off, you will eventually have either a person or an auto update you right out of compliance. So let's talk about which versions of Java are out there. Since 2019, Java has been licensable, obviously. Now there's some older versions, which are 5, 6, and 7. If you're using those, you probably shouldn't be. They are only in long-term sustaining support. There's Java 8, which I don't have a technical opinion on, but we've heard Gartner say that trying to go back to a version of Java 8 to escape, to get a free version is a really bad idea. We will take their word for it from a technical standpoint that it is. So that is that's an extended support, which is one level before sustaining. And there are versions of that are free and versions that are paid. I'll get right in a minute. I'll show you which are which. And there's something out there called Java Web Start, which is essentially a version of Java 8. So when it comes to, and we just recently added 4 because somebody asked us about 4, if you were using 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, the way you determine if your Java version is free or paid is by the update number. So let's go with Java 8 because that's pretty much the only one that is ever even close to relevant anymore. So Java 8, the last free version is update number 202, and the first paid version is update number 211. The numbers in the middle don't exist. So if you have 202, you're okay. You don't need a license, but if you have 211 or higher, you do. And if like I said earlier, if one of your employees decides to update you from 202 to whatever the current version is, they will update you right out of compliance. Again, we'll send this to you. So real quick, just want to spend a second here just to let you know, there are 2 kinds of versions of Java. There's besides being free and paid, in a technical sense, there are the long-term support version and the not long-term support version. So the not long-term support, non-long-term support option version, it's only going to be maintained for 6 months, and then that's it. They're not going to support it anymore. And that's sort of like the cutting-edge version. And you should know that, because if you don't know that and you went and said, oh, I'm going to use this Java number 16, I'm making that up, whatever number it is, oh, it's free. Well, if it was only supported for 6 months and you just spent all your organization's time and effort migrating to that version, by the time you're done, it's out of support. So make sure you migrate to something, it's a long-term support version. So here's the big table of information that is one of the big great takeaways here. So if you just said to yourself, okay, I need a long-term support version and I want it to be free, number 17 is the version you're looking for, possibly number 21, that would be even better. So if you take a look, 17 is free, but only until September of 2024. So free until is something that Oracle has updated frequently. They've changed their mind on that. Typically, when a new version comes out, or sometime after a new free version comes out, the old free version is no longer free. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, if your IT team was ahead of the game, and a couple of years ago they got you onto a long-term version, well, that long-term version that was free, if you got on 17, is expiring quickly. We're talking about 7 months until that version is completely not free anymore, and you're gonna have to pay for it. So when I say it's free, it's only free if you're not using commercial features. Now, if you're using any of these you see on screen here, these are the commercial free features. So even if you have a free version, if you're using these features, it's not free. The one on here is the second to last. I want to show to your point out to you, the Java usage tracker. So if you use the JRE usage tracker to track where you're using Java, you are actually going to need a commercial license to use that. So that's a little gotcha that some people don't realize, and they'll do all this work to get a free version put in, and then all of a sudden the actual work that they did to do the free version put them out of compliance. So we're going to talk about, I talked about sustaining support just real quick. What does it mean versus what does sustaining support cover? It basically covers security fixes. It covers assistance with service, things like that. I'm going to let you, you'll see this in the document I sent you, but essentially it's non-technical customer service during normal business hours. When it's not covered under sustaining support, it's basically just minor updates, bugs, and security fixes, and it is at a 24-hour level in terms of response times. So keep that in mind. If you are an organization that requires a very strong level of support, this difference may be important to you. So I'd also like to talk about Java Alternative. So that was the poll we just took with you guys. Java Alternative was the #1 answer, and you'll see when I send it to you. Now, here are some options, just some of the options. There's many options. So when Oracle announced Java was no longer going to be free, all of a sudden, all these other organizations said, well, that's fine, I'll make my own Java. And you can see Microsoft made one, Amazon made one, IBM made one, Red Hat made one before IBM bought them. So there's a bunch out there, but the two I want to bring to your attention are Azul Core and Azul Prime. And the reason I want to bring those two, they used to be called Zulu and Zing, if you know those names. I want to bring those to your attention because they are the only free option that does critical patch updates. And that's a security thing if you didn't know. And what that means is when a security vulnerability is found, both Oracle and Azul will update their products immediately to, well, as fast as they possibly can is what I should say, to fix that security issue. Everyone else on this list will just put it on a pile, and once a month, they will release a security patch. So that's a big difference if you have some sort of application that has a high degree of security needs. So please keep that in mind. If you don't know what a critical patch update is, ask your IT people. And this is where I also like to say, make sure you have a cross-functional team at your organization looking into what you're going to do about Java. You should have your procurement people involved. You should have your IT teams involved. You should have your product development teams if you have one involved. And I say that because I don't want to see a situation, we've seen this with other people we've spoken to, where they got a great plan, they go to implement the plan, and somebody in the security department says, no, this is unacceptable. For compliance reasons, we can't do this. So talk to your team, talk to your cybersecurity team specifically before you go down one of these routes of trying to decide which one of these products is right for you. All right. So real quick, let's go to my next polling question. And that is going to be, what is your current Java usage? And essentially, have you reviewed it? Have you looked around your organization to see where you're using Java? And if you haven't, I recommend look everywhere. I mean, absolutely everywhere. The joke we make here is that if you get a birthday card in the mail that sings happy birthday to you, it's probably got Java in it. If you have point of sale devices, if you have any sort of handheld device at all that maybe takes readings of something or measures something, we like to say if it uses electricity, check it for Java. I'll give you another 5 seconds to answer if you want to let me know where you are in determining your Java usage. Again, give me your answers and I'll send you the results. All right, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. All right, moving right along. All right, I'm going to go through this real fast. There are different agreements for Java. Oracle has changed it over the years, depending on when you might have purchased your Java or when your Java was released. It is under different terms and conditions. So one is the binary code license agreement was before 2019. One is the Oracle Technology Network License Agreement that is basically after 2019. And more recently, they have the no fee terms and conditions agreement, which covers 17 and 19. So if you are on a legal team and you like to know the difference and make sure that you're reading the correct contracts, we'll let you know this. Just make sure you're reading the right one. So what does a Java audit look like? Well, it will come across as a, quote, sales inquiry. They will be calling. They will be asking if you have Java licensing. They will be asking how many employees you have. There's a good chance they already know how many employees you have. They just want to see what you say. The team that will be calling you will be the Global License Advisory Services. If you've ever heard of License Management Services, that's their new name. They may not be on the call. They may not definitely be on the call. They may be on the call and just don't announce themselves. But typically, it will be a regular Oracle salesperson who will reach out to you, and then they will a lot of time have one of these people on the line. They used to ask for your number of processors. They stopped doing that when they changed the metric to employees. So like I said, they'll just ask you. And this is where you got to sort of, think about your risks. Can your users upgrade themselves out of compliance? If Oracle sees upgrades happening, here and there, they're going to assume they can, and that you probably aren't in compliance. And when you get to this situation, what you've got to remember is Oracle does this all day, every day. People calling you to negotiate, this is their main job. They negotiate these subscription arrangements all day. So don't do it for the first time. Don't do it, you're going to be doing it for the first time. Don't do it alone. Get some expert help. We would love to help you. There are, you may have internal people who could do it, but definitely get help. Don't go it alone. Okay, here's my big gotcha. I promised you a gotcha, and here we go. So let's say you have a plan. Your plan was to wait for Oracle to call and ask you for licensing, and you would at that point say, okay, I guess we got to do this. Let's get a 1-year contract for Java, and we'll spend that 1 year replacing Java at our organization. Well, if that was your plan, I have bad news for you. Oracle is not giving 1 year alone forward-looking license agreements. They are offering the following. You can get a 5-year licensing agreement. They'll give you some discounted pricing and they won't charge you back fees. However, if you get a 3-year or a 1 year, you can see it here, especially the 1 year, you don't get any discount and you will be paying full back usage fees. And what I mean by that is you will be paying for your usage going back to 2019. So they will sell you a 6-year contract, which only 1 year of which is going forward. And the other 5 years is back charging you for all that time. So that is the big gotcha. If you were doing your pricing expectations around a 1-year deal, I hate to blow that up, but that's not going to happen. So this is the time to get proactive, right? Don't wait for the knock on the door. Get out ahead of it, because if you wait if you wait for Oracle to come to you, you will not have enough time to make a decision. You're not going to move your whole organization off of Java in the time period you're going to have to resolve your situation with Oracle. So if you are going to do something different, now is the time to get started. Now is the time to contact the experts. Again, no 1-year forward contracts. All right, so my last polling question, because I don't like to ask too many of these, is have you been audited by Oracle? for Java. Now we've seen this number creep up. When we first started doing these webinars, I think we had like one person in the whole room who'd been audited by Java at that point. That has gone up a lot. I'm not going to say the yeses are outnumbering the no's at this point, but we're getting a more yes to no ratio all the time. And the other one I really love to see is if you're not audited yet, but you expect one soon, because you are absolutely correct. We've been saying for a long time, Oracle audits are a matter of a matter of when, not if. So if the longer you've gone without one, the more likely you are to get one. I'll give you about 5 more seconds if you want to answer my polling question. I greatly appreciate it. All right, thanks, guys. Okay. So what should be your takeaways from this presentation? Number one, takeaway. You almost certainly have multiple instances of Java at your organization that require a license. Even if you have certain divisions or certain groups, they're hiding everywhere. Unless you've done a comprehensive technical review at a very deep level, you've probably missed some. We can help you do that. We can help you understand what you have and where you have it. So unless you have, Java finding experts, it is very difficult to find them all. There are multiple support versions. So make sure that if you put a lot of effort into migrating to a free one, make sure you pick a long-term support one. Make sure you pick the most recent long-term support one. You don't want to pick a long-term support where that long-term is about to end. There are a lot of alternatives. You don't have to use Oracle Java. There are plenty. They come with different use cases. They come with different pricing models. I can tell you the one I mentioned earlier, Azul, we found it's about 80% cheaper. Our clients have saved around an average of 80%, the ones who decide to go with Azul. So some are cheaper, some are free. But the free ones, don't come with a neck to choke. The free ones, if something goes wrong, well, there's no one to call. Make sure you understand which one of the agreements your Java subscription or purchase or usage is under. Carefully look at Oracle's proposals and understand what it means to upgrades in terms of cost, compliance, and compatibility. Because a lot of times this is one of those things, as you know, that always takes longer than you think it will. So what do you do now? Don't do nothing. Oracle's going to come knocking sooner or later. Best if you're proactive. Be aware of what Java you have, where you have it. Know what your settings are. Know if your users can update themselves out of compliance. Know if Java itself can auto-update you out of compliance. Know your alternatives. And most importantly, get expert help. Yes, we can help you with that. We can tell you where you have, what you have, where you have it, and what you should do. So with that, if you have any questions, now would be the time to put them in the question Q&A box at the bottom. And I will go through and let me give you the answer to the most common question I get in these presentations. Can you get the slideshow? Yeah, we're going to send you a video. We're also going to include a video, and I will see if I can get you the actual slide deck itself. I have what I'm going to give you is we have a Java licensing guide. It contains everything I just went through, and it's just a little bit more condensed format. So it's going to be a PDF, but you're going to get all the information. We're also going to send you a recording in case you'd like to share it with your colleagues, etc. Why do we believe Oracle is targeting healthcare organizations? Because we're seeing lots more healthcare organizations come to us and say, hey, Oracle's calling us up about Java. So it's nothing public. It's just how many, we keep track of, we get a lot of inquiries. We do a lot of work with Java, like this presentation. So we get a lot of inquiries and we just track which industries we see getting the most inquiries in any given time. And we've just seen a recent shift from a government education sort of focus. I guess maybe they've gone through that or whatever, but now we've seen them all of a sudden. We're getting a lot more calls from healthcare agencies saying, hey, Oracle's calling me up and asking me about Java. And that's not just healthcare, that is medical manufacturers, things like that. Because I guess if you're a medical device manufacturer, you probably have like machines that might run Oracle software. The other question I get is, I got Java in a Oracle product that I purchased and from Oracle, so like an ERP system. So I'll put it this way. If you bought a product from Oracle and that product came with Java, you do not need a separate Java license for that product. However, any other usage of Java, you would need a license for. So if your product came with Java, you don't need another license for Java specifically for that product, if that's an Oracle product. Okay, we have been using SCCM to perform inventory. Seems to work well. But need to inventory disconnected site and use on tools. We have specific proprietary scripts that we help your team run that work at a I don't want to say a base level, but essentially they work at a level where they don't fail in the way that tools fail. Tools tend to be a little bit more prone fail. They're more complicated, so there are more reasons to fail. But yeah, we do see an issue. One of the major issue that we see is people don't look in all the places they're supposed to look. They'll check, server A, server B, and server C, and then they forget all about they had server D sitting in the closet somewhere. That's pretty much one of the most common ways we see failures. And that's one of the things we work with our clients. We very specifically say, yes, but are you absolutely sure you don't have any more servers? Because we have had clients who found, whole data rooms full of servers they forgot they had. Say Oracle said we could stay under our existing license agreement, but with proof, meaning they sent us scripts to run. Is this normal? I would say contact us. So that's going to be depends on your situation in particular. We don't want to give you any sort of advice that may be wrong because you're in a different stage of something or you have a different product. So I'm going to get back to you after this event to the person who asked that question, and I will get you a informed answer from one of my expert analysts who knows even more than I do. I assume you discussed Oracle Java on server issues in the VMware environment. Oh my God, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So Oracle and VMware alone, before Java enters the equation, is a very, very difficult subject. And one of the reasons for that is VMware will give you wrong information. We've tested this many times. We've contacted VMware. We've told VMware that what the information they're giving out is wrong. I don't know if VMware cares. I don't know if VMware disagrees, but we verified it with Oracle. So we talk to Oracle all the time. We talk to their license management teams to understand exactly what the rules are. And VMware is very difficult to get right. And that's mostly because what VMware says counts as partitioning, Oracle disagrees, does not count. And what happens then is you think you only need a license for part of your environment, and then Oracle comes in and says, no, you actually need it for the whole thing. That is, like I said, it's a problem before Java even gets involved. And that's one of the things we help clients with the most is taking a look at their environment and their segmentation, their partitioning, and we can either say, yes, Oracle will accept this, or no, they're not, and here's what you need to do for Oracle to accept it. Because the last thing you want to do is think that only 1% of your environment needs to be licensed, and Oracle comes in and says, no, 100% needs to be licensed. Well, that's going to be a lot more expensive, quite obviously. All right. Is a university responsible if the student downloads Oracle Java on their laptop while on a campus network? I don't know. That is a good one. I would say a lot of that might have to do with who owns the computer, because technically Java is not being installed on your network. So I would say if it's I just off the top of my head here, if it's the student's personal computer, that would count as a personal use and not as a commercial use, which is what would happen if the university had it on a computer that it owned. I'm going to double check with that. I'm not sure I've ever gotten that question before, so that's a really good one. I'll give it like another 30 seconds here. Does anybody have any final questions? Looks like that's it. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you very much for coming. Like I said, shortly after this event ends, I'm going to send you a licensing guide. I'm going to send you a link to the recording to the people who asked for the deck. Let me see if I can get that for you. And for the people who I said we got to get back to you, I'll contact you after the event. So again, if you have any further questions, please contact us at Miro Consulting. We're on the web emails us at info@miroconsulting.com. Or feel free to call us at 732-738-8511, extension 1208. And don't worry, I'll send you all that information as a follow-up. Thank you very much for attending. I hope you have a great day.